we're looking at the top 5 shoes that look like Yeezys. What's going on, guys? Picsoleated here, back at it again with another video. Today we're doing a little something special for y'all, but before I get into that, I wanted to officially thank you all for hitting 10,000 subs. And in order to celebrate, I'm going to be doing a few giveaways. The first one starts today. I figured it's the season of giving, so it's time to give back. I'm giving away these two extremely rare sets of laces. They're the Boost Vibes X Rope Lace Supply collab laces from the original drop that sold out extremely quickly. They're not making these anymore, and this was probably their first collaboration ever with any company, so hit the link in the description to join the giveaway and you could get these babies for free. I have two sets of laces, the black and the white set, so there will be two winners and you will get one of these laces completely free. So once again, hit that link in the description for the chance to win one of these. You see they got the Boost Vibe text on them, real nice, real clean. With that out of the way, let's get back to the video. Now obviously, as we all know, we're in a special sneakerhead phenomenon known as Yeezy season. In fact, this special phenomenon has been occurring for the last month or so. We've seen so many Yeezy releases, I almost lost track. We started November off with the rarest and most limited Yeezys to date, like of any of the Adidas Yeezys, including the OG V1 350s. We got the semi-frozen yellow Yeezy 350 Boost V2s, the infamous Junior Chicken Yeezys. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my size. Then continuing on in the month, we got the most ever stocked Yeezy. What a contrast, huh? One after the next two. It was the Yeezy 350 V2 in the Beluga 2.0 colorway. I only have the OG Beluga colorway, and there's a reason for that, but that's for another video. Then we had these, which I almost forgot about, the gray Calabasas Power Phase, still technically a Yeezy, but I don't know if I consider it as such. And finally, we have the last one coming out this month in December, the 350 V2 in the blue tint colorway. I'm not gonna lie, I like this colorway a lot. Will I get it or not? Well, that's up to the raffle gods. Speaking of which, onto the real reason for this video. With all these Yeezy releases, it's starting to seem like even with plenty of stock to throw around, many people are still finding it severely difficult to secure a pair, while the same people seem to end up with multiples. Obviously, the demand for the shoes associated with Kanye is still there. I'm not going to say it's as insane it was maybe half a year or more ago, but it's still there. Obviously, that means that these new heavily stocked colorways aren't going to cost as much in the after or resale market. But with a shoe that retails at $300 Canadian, you're definitely not paying a modest amount at retail or resale, even for the cheapest of the bunch. Of course, the Power Phase retail price is an exception, but generally these shoes are pretty costly to attain. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 sneakers with y'all that you can get for the low that will still give you the design, look, and style points of a Yeezy. 1, without breaking the bank. 2, without having to go out of your way and search the aftermarket to get your hands on them and potentially buying a fake. And 3, without breaking the goddamn bank. Now, before I get started, just a reminder to like and or subscribe at any time during the video if you enjoyed it. Now, let's get started. So first things first, number 1 on the list is the Tubular Shadow. I mean, do I even have to point out the similarities on this one? There's almost nothing that looks different. With its boat-like midsole knit upper, rope laces going through the top, it's almost a straight copy of the Yeezy 350 Boost V1, the one I liken to a potato sack, and you can't really call it a ripoff since Adidas makes both shoes. These shoes are also very potato sacky, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That seems to be the trend right now, so you're not an oddball if you're into that kind of thing. Matter of fact, I myself could be found guilty for falling for the hype on that trend, as I do own a couple Yeezys myself, clearly. And if you've seen my review videos, you already know this. The best part about the Tubular Shadow, though, is the fact that you can find them within the price range of 90 to 130 Canadian dollars, which means you'll find them for even less in US dollars. Obviously, conversion-wise, it might be similar. And you'll find them with a plethora of colors to choose from, with your size most likely being in stock. The one downside to these shoes, as you'll see with pretty much all on this list, is that they don't have the boost cushioning technology in the midsole, but when you're saving approximately 70% of the money you'd spend on a pair of Yeezys, even more so if you pay resale, who's complaining? They're still a comfortable shoe, light, and gets you the style points of the Yeezys. Second on the list, without surprise, is another Adidas shoe. Okay, let me just spoil part of the surprise for you guys. Most, if not all, the shoes on this list are going to be Adidas shoes, and this is just because they're blatantly making shoes inspired by their Yeezy line for the average consumer who doesn't want to or have the time to research every Yeezy drop every other week and have to wait in line or online until the drop. What better company to make spin-off designs than themselves, right? So back to the shoe. The Adidas Alphabounce isn't necessarily a direct copy of the Yeezy design, which helps it stand out on the list, but it does share several similarities. For one, it has the one-piece upper and ankle opening. The heel portion and tongue portion of the upper are leaned back to create that streamlined, edgy look, typical of a Yeezy 350 low top. The upper isn't made of prime knit. It's commonly made of what's known as an engineered mesh upper, which isn't as soft but still has a cloth-like feel to it, with perforations added for breathability. The midsole has these fish gill looking ridges that kind of make it look like you're wearing a fish on your feet. I mean, that's a similarity right there. Both of these resemble random inanimate objects from real life. Yeezys look like potato sacks and these look like fish. Okay, now, while these don't have boost technology, they do also have a relatively new cushioning technology Adidas uses known as bounce. This technology is much more firm than the typically squishy boost and provides more of a bounce to your step rather than the shock-absorbing pillow-like feel of a boost midsole. It also comes in colorways reminiscent of previous Yeezy models, similar to the Oxford Tan and Turtle Dove colorway. The Alphabounce retails for around 140 to 160 Canadian dollars, which is half the price of Yeezys at retail and far less if we're accounting for resale prices, and they're apparently great for athletic activity as well, so that's a huge bonus. Third on this list might be a little more unexpected. It is the Adidas EQT Cushion ADV. This model debuted this year in 2017 to commemorate the EQT line from the past, specifically the EQT Cushion, which is a legacy Adidas model. The EQT Cushion ADV, however, is anything but legacy, with all new upgrades like a sleek knit cloth-like upper that looks like a futuristic car on your feet. It is not dissimilar to the soft cloth-like upper of a pair of Yeezys. The upper is essentially one piece as well. The tongue looks like it's a separate piece, but it's actually connected with elastic bands to the rest of the upper. The other big difference is the fact that it has this thick, somewhat cushy midsole with a rigid outsole pattern with deep grooves, kind of like the V1 version of the Yeezy 350 Boost. Now, the technology used here, which is essentially a softer than usual version of EVA rubber, it is not a new technology, as the legacy EQT Cushion used a soft EVA rubber midsole as well. It is very comfortable, however. It has a soft feel to it, and when you walk, it gives you a satisfying shock absorption without being as squishy as Boost in Yeezys. The EQT price ranges from 105 to 180 Canadian dollars, which is a huge range, but this is really dependent on sales. You're more likely to find a colorway you like on the higher end of that spectrum that is not on sale. The highest price on the list, this is the highest price on this list so far, but still far below the $300 Canadian retail of Yeezys, therefore still plenty more affordable. Fourth on this list is probably my personal favorite from the list. It is the Tubular Rise. Now, I have to give it to Adidas. They've really been trying to nail the pseudo Yeezy look with the tubular line since its inception. At least I think they have, with shoes like the Tubular Runner, Tubular X, Tubular Nova, and other older tubular models, and all those were fine, but they really seemed to miss the mark one way or another when it came to accomplishing that task. The Tubular Rise, on the other hand, is pretty much everything you'd want from a non-Yeezy look-alike. It has the soft prime knit upper, Adidas prime knit premium knit tech material. It has that thick midsole and those rope laces that just go so well together with that one-piece ankle opening. The midsole has these two layers with wavy asymmetric ridges on them that are reminiscent of the ridges on Yeezy midsoles without being the same thing. But what's even more interesting is that they ride up on these suede patches on the lateral and medial side of the shoe, which is sort of a callback to the suede patch on the inside of the V1 Yeezy 350. These are the closest thing you'll get to a Yeezy without being a Yeezy, even with the earthy tone colorways that are available to purchase right now. They will run you at about $200 Canadian without any sales, which now takes the crown for being the highest price on this list from the EQT Cushion ADV. However, at $200 Canadian, it is still 100 Canadian dollars below regular Yeezy retail, and you can probably get them for less over time when a sale hits, but if you really can't wait, $200 is not a bad price at all. The final shoe on this list is the uniquely shaped Tubular Doom sock. Now, this is a much needed modified version of an older Adidas tubular model, which I personally think was trying to be a budget Adidas Y3 model. The original Tubular Doom, which I actually have a pair of, and I thought they were the shit back then, while the high cut version looked almost nothing like a Yeezy. I've actually got a few uninformed strangers ask me if these were Yeezys when I wore them. However, the low top version, this Tubular Doom sock, I would not be surprised if more people asked if these look like Yeezys, although a lot of things are pretty much pound for pound the same thing. For example, the midsole is exactly the same. This heel strap on the back is completely unchanged. The removal of that sock high top section, like this thing right here, the removal of this and that low-cut one-piece ankle opening pretty much allows this shoe to realize its full potential as a pseudo Yeezy. And I just want to remind people that this list isn't to mention how these shoes look like Yeezy knockoffs and Adidas is trying to cut corners by providing cheap rip-off copies of their own shoes, which they're not doing, by the way. It's to show you guys just how Adidas is catering to the larger population by allowing them to buy sneakers that satisfy the desire to own a shoe with similar design language and style as the Yeezy without having to break the bank or commit an unreasonable amount of time to it. Because at the end of the day, 99% of the time, spending $300 to $2,000 on a shoe that you're going to beat to the ground isn't really justified. Of course, for us sneakerheads it is, and that's why we do it. But we're not the only ones that populate Mother Earth. With that being said though, you can find the tubular sock for extremely reasonable prices from 120 to 130 Canadian dollars, so you really can't go wrong with these. And that caps off my list. If you took anything from it, please hit that like button. As a small-time YouTuber, it really helps the channel grow and encourages me to bring more quality content to you guys. Let me know if you're a fan of any of these shoes in the comments. Don't forget to join the giveaway in the description below, and with that being said, catch you later. Pixelated out.